Ever wondered what happens when a billionaire tech mogul meets a plate of Ugali? Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who's been dodging Senate hearings and privacy scandals like Neo in The Matrix, the one and only, yes, that Zuck, decides to take on the ultimate challenge. Not a new algorithm, not a VR headset, not even a congressional roast. No, it's Ugali, the sacred, steaming, maize-based mountain of East African culinary glory. And let's just say, when Zuck meets Ugali, it's not just a meal, it's a full-on existential crisis, a spiritual shutdown, and a buffering catastrophe worse than that time Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp all crashed in 2021. This is CurioVerse, where curiosity is quenched. Here, you witness billionaires malfunctioning in public. If you're here for chaos, internet roasts, and the kind of story that makes you want to call your auntie who makes Ugali so good it could broker world peace, smash that like, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so we can notify you when your delicious Ugali is ready. Now buckle up, because you are about to witness the ultimate clash of titans. It all started on a random Thursday in May 2025. The internet was minding its own business, scrolling through cat memes, arguing about AFCON, and dodging crypto scams, when Zuck dropped a bombshell on X, flying to Kenya. Heard Ugali is the ultimate carb. Challenge accepted. Meta munch. The tweet hit like a poorly timed WhatsApp group notification at 3 a.m. No one asked for this. No one expected it. The man who once tried to connect the world was now trying to connect with maize. Kenyan X exploded into a glorious mess of skepticism, shade, and straight-up prophecy. Zuck, if you eat Ugali with a spoon, we're canceling you faster than Internet Explorer. Those soft Silicon Valley hands can't handle Mama's mwiko. Bro's about to crash harder than his servers in 2021. The memes were relentless. Someone photoshopped Zuck's face onto a plate of Ugali with the caption, "When your algorithm can't calculate sukuma wiki." Another user posted a gif of a buffering wheel over Zuck's unblinking eyes, labeled, "Zuck processing starch, 404 error." But Zuck, he was undeterred. 48 hours later, his Meta-branded private jet, complete with a holographic logo that screamed, "I have too much money," touched down at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. He stepped onto the tarmac in Nairobi, rocking a navy t-shirt, because of course. AI-generated khaki shorts that looked like they were designed by a neural network trained on Safari Pinterest boards, and, God help us, Birkenstocks with socks. Bro looked like he was attending a tech conference and a family reunion in Naivasha at the same time. Kenyan X was already in shambles. A user named at Nairobi Ninja tweeted, "Zook looks like he's here to sell us a timeshare in the metaverse." Another, at Sukuma Slayer, warned, "If he calls Ugali cornmeal, we're sending him to Nyeri for re-education." Zuck didn't check into a fancy hotel like the Sarova Stanley or the Hilton. No, he went full "I'm one of you" mode and posted a selfie outside the airport captioned, "Looking for authentic Ugali. Where my Nairobi people at?" Local vibes. The comments section became a war zone. Thousands of replies flooded in, ranging from genuine suggestions to straight-up trolling. "Go to Kybera, but don't cry when the Sukuma wiki slaps your soul." "Bro, you're not ready for Mama's Ugali. Stay in Palo Alto." But one comment, buried in the chaos, caught Zuck's AI-enhanced, data-scanning eyes. "Come to Gikambura. Mama Njeri's Ugali slaps harder than your server crashes. Behind the Total petrol station." At Kiambu King. Zuck, in true billionaire fashion, didn't overthink it. He pinned the comment, replied with a robot emoji, and summoned his security team, a squad of ex-Meta engineers, all inexplicably named Kyle, Chad, or Brad. They piled into a fleet of black SUVs and headed to Kiambu, leaving Nairobi's skyscrapers behind for the dusty roads of Gikambura. Gikambura wasn't ready for this. Neither was Zuck. The destination? A legendary tin shack behind a Total petrol station, where the air smelled of charcoal, onions, and pure, unfiltered vibes. This was Mama Njeri's spot, a culinary mecca where locals knew, you don't just eat Ugali, you survive it. The shack was small, smoky, and packed with regulars. matatu drivers, shopkeepers, and a stray dog named Simba, who judged everyone's plate. Mamanjeri stood at the helm, a queen in a faded apron, wielding her mwiko like Excalibur. Her vibe? Unbothered. Her aura? Unconquerable. She'd seen it all. Politicians begging for her sukuma recipe, influencers filming TikToks, and now, a billionaire tech bro who looked like he'd never touched a maize cob in his life. Zuck walked in, flanked by his Kyles, Chads, and Brads, who were sweating through their Meta-branded polos. The locals stopped chewing. Simba the dog raised an eyebrow. Mamanjeri sized him up, her eyes narrowing like she was scanning his source code. Unaweza kula kama Mkenya? She asked, her voice dripping with challenge. Can you eat like a Kenyan? Zuck, with the confidence of a man who's never been humbled by starch, gave a robotic nod and said, Initiate, local mode. The room froze. A child in the corner whispered, Huyu amekuja na Wi-Fi ya moyo. This guy came with heart Wi-Fi. The Kyles exchanged nervous glances. Mamanjeri didn't flinch. She just pointed to a wooden bench and said, Ka. Sit. The plate arrived like a prophecy fulfilled. A steaming mound of ugali, firm as Mount Kenya, golden as a Mombasa sunrise. Next to it, a pile of sukuma wiki glistening with onions and secrets. A side of fried beef, seasoned with what locals swore was the wisdom of ancestors. The aroma alone could have powered a Safaricom mast. Zuck stared at the plate, his eyes doing that unblinking thing that makes you wonder if he's human or a firmware update in progress. The Kyles set up a live stream on Instagram, because of course they did, captioned, Zuck versus Ugali, the ultimate showdown. Then it happened. Zuck reached into his AI-generated shorts, pulled out a fork, and went for the Ugali. The gasp was audible from Eldoret to Lamu. Simba the dog barked. A matatu driver dropped his spoon. The silence that followed was louder than a Nairobi nightclub at 2 a.m. Mamanjeri's mwiko hit the counter with a thwack that echoed like a server crash. Hey! Tumi mkono, Zuckerberg! She roared. Use your hand, Zuckerberg. The Kyles froze. The live stream chat exploded. Fork? In my Gikambura? Jail. Zuck just disrespected 47 counties. This is worse than the time he wore sunscreen in Hawaii. Zuck, to his credit, didn't argue. He put the fork down like a scolded intern, reached for the ugali with his pale, algorithm-optimized fingers, and tried to pinch a piece. It was tragic. The chunk crumbled like a bad NFT. He tried again, rolling it like a toddler with Play-Doh. Finally, he managed a lumpy ball, dipped it in the beef, and took a bite. He chewed. He swallowed. He paused. And then, his face froze. His eyes turned into buffering circles, like a Zoom call on 2G. His jaw stopped moving. Locals swear they heard a faint Windows XP error sound. Ding-dong-ding, as the ugali hit his system. System error. Unfamiliar starch detected, he whispered, his voice glitching like a corrupted MP3. The room watched in horror. Zuck's forehead glistened with sweat. Mombasa at noon levels of perspiration. His breathing? Buffering. His eyes? 404, not found. His thoughts? Insert SIM card to continue. One of the Kyles, Chad, lunged forward. Sir, are you okay? Blink twice for yes. Zuck didn't blink. He whispered, Tell Cheryl. The ugali was stronger than me. A kid in the corner, munching on sukuma, muttered, Amavunjwa na unga, meaning, he's been broken by flour. Zuck didn't faint. Oh no. He transcended. The ugali triggered something primal, something cosmic. In his mind, he was no longer in Gikambura. He was in a vast, glowing field of maize. Think the Matrix. But instead of green code, it's corn stalks as far as the eye can see. Ancestors in vibrant shukas stood in a circle, their eyes piercing his soul. One elder, with a mwiko the size of a skyscraper, stepped forward and boomed, You are not worthy of the starch. Your soul lacks flavor. Return when you've debugged your spirit. Zuck tried to respond, but his mouth outputted binary. 010101. Ugali. Override. The elder shook his head. You cannot code your way out of this, Mark. Back in the real world, Zuck was still frozen, ugali crumbs on his chin, eyes staring into the void. The Kyles were in full panic mode, fanning him with meta swag hats and Googling how to reboot a billionaire. Mama and Jerry, unfazed, sipped her chai and said, Atafufuka tu, meaning, he'll resurrect. And he did. Zuck snapped out of it, sat bolt upright, and, to everyone's shock, started speaking Kamba. Nguvu ya ngima ni ya kweli, he declared, meaning the power of Ugali is real. No one knew how. The Kyles checked his neural implant for updates. Nothing. Simba the dog wagged his tail as if to say, respect. Zuck stared into the distance and said, this starch is sacred. Kenyan X didn't sleep that night. The hashtags Shija Zuck Gatu Galid and Ans Mamanjeri for President trended globally. The internet split into factions faster than a WhatsApp group planning a choma meeting. Team He Tried. They gave Zuck props for showing up. At least he didn't bring a private chef. Respect Team Weak Stomach. They roasted him into maize dust. Zuck's digestive system said, access denied to Ugali. Team He Can't Clap Chapati either. They dropped memes of Zuck failing at every Kenyan dish, from nyama choma to mandazi. One viral video showed an AI-generated Zuck trying to roll chapati and accidentally inventing a tortilla. Meta's stock dipped 3%, not because of Ugali, but because Wall Street doesn't trust a CEO who can't handle carbs. Meanwhile, a shadowy group of Nairobi coders launched StarchCoin, a cryptocurrency backed by the caloric power of maize. Its slogan? Hodl the Ugali. It spiked 200% before crashing because crypto. Mamanjeri became an overnight legend. Her shack was flooded with pilgrims, foodies, influencers, and even a guy claiming to be Elon Musk's cousin, begging for her sukuma recipe. She turned them all away, saying, Mimisio app, Kula tu, I'm not an app, just eat. Zuck, ever the tech bro, tried to pivot. He tweeted a photo of Mamanjeri, captioned, she crashed me harder than 2021. Respect the starch. The post got 1.2 million likes, mostly from bots. But still, Zuck didn't give up. Like a true developer, he saw failure as a learning opportunity and decided to code his way out of humiliation. Back in Silicon Valley, he locked himself in a lab with his top engineers, more Kyles, Chads, and Brads, and announced a new metaverse project. Ugali, the world's first virtual Ugali simulator. The app promised an immersive maize experience. Users could choose their Ugali stiffness, soft, medium, or Mamanjeri hard, practice pinching techniques, and pair it with virtual sukuma or nyama choma. Zuck even added a cultural respect tutorial, narrated by an AI with a suspiciously Kenyan accent. The launch was a disaster. Avatars started eating Ugali with straws. Some users turned into maize cobs mid-game. One glitch made the virtual sukuma wiki scream, "You're not worthy," when players dipped incorrectly. Kenyan X was merciless. Zuck made an Ugali app before fixing WhatsApp's last seen bug. Priorities, bro. This app crashes more than my Safaricom data bundle in Rongai. The Kenyan government issued a rare statement. Mr. Zuckerberg, please stop playing with our food. Focus on your servers. Even Safaricom chimed in, tweeting, Our network is stronger than your app, Zuck. Try again. Zuck wasn't done. A month later, he returned to Gikambura, barefoot, humbled, wearing a lesso tied around his head like a true Kenyan uncle. He bowed to Mamanjeri and said, I have studied your ways. I have fasted from quinoa. I am ready. The shack was packed. Locals, influencers, and Simba the dog watched as Mamanjeri handed him a plate. No cameras, no forks, just man and starch. Zuck pinched the Ugali properly, rolled it respectfully, dipped it gracefully, and took a bite. He chewed. He smiled. The clouds parted. A Wi-Fi signal allegedly appeared in Limuru for the first time. A matatu driver swore he saw the ghost of Steve Jobs give Zuck a thumbs up from the petrol station. Mom and Jerry nodded. Sasa unajua. Now you know. Meta issued a press release that shook the internet. Introducing Ugali mode. Every Facebook user in Africa gets a daily maize meme. They added a new emoji. Ugali respect. Mom and Jerry was named the face of Meta Africa, her image plastered on billboards from Nairobi to Dar es Salaam. Her quote, "Even billionaires must chew properly." Zuck, in a rare Wired interview, reflected, "Ugali taught me more than Harvard. It humbled my code and strengthened my soul." Kenyan X declared Mom and Jerry the true MVP. Starchcoin relaunched and somehow didn't crash. Gikambura became a tourist hotspot, with t-shirts reading, "I survived Mom and Jerry's Ugali." Sometimes, it's not about money, power, or data. It's about a humble mound of maize flour that can bring a billionaire to his knees. Zuck came to Kenya, saw the Ugali, and got absolutely steamrolled by starch. And honestly, that's the kind of chaos we live for here on CurioVerse. If this made you laugh, made you hungry, or made you delete Meta apps out of respect for Ugali, smash that like. Hit subscribe. Drop a comment. Who should get Ugalid next? And don't keep this story to yourself. You've seen the algorithm king get defeated by a Kenyan staple. Now it's your turn. Share this video like your social credit score depends on it. Zuckerberg might control the feed, but you control the clout. Let the world know, Ugali does not negotiate. Until next time, stay safe, stay spicy, and don't mess with Mama Njeri's mwiko. Puli, 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 puli.